and welcome. You're with Amira Celon and this is your coffee cup reading for April 2016. Hope you're having a great month and year so far moving forward. I've got a couple of cups here I'm going to read for you, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for your comments, for liking, subscribing and sharing these videos, and I appreciate your support and your comments. I know there's a lot of people out there who claim to read the coffee cup. My opinion on everything basically regarding readings is that if you are a gifted reader, you are gifted at reading anything. And I've lived in the Middle East, both in Dubai and also in Lebanon, and there was always one lady in every single building who claimed to read the coffee cup. A lot of the times people read coffee cups in these cultures just to have a little chat with their neighbours, and it's a beautiful way to pass the morning with your friends and neighbours. And there are some very gifted readers in these areas, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, etc. And I do understand there's a sort of attachment to the cup in these cultures, and this is where this sort of reading comes from, as well as Iran as well. There's a lot of Persian people who love the cup too. And I started reading when I was 16, 17, and I can read the crystal ball. I can read lots of different modalities, including hands-free, channeling messages naturally. I've also studied the palm, astrology, tarot, my own oracle cards, Amira's Love oracle cards, and I did get onto the cup when I was in the Middle East and featured on television in Lebanon for my gifts. So basically, for me, reading the coffee cup is a little bit like reading the crystal ball. You can go through the images and get messages also from the other side. So anyone who is a gifted reader will be able to read the cup or anything else that they wish to choose or be attracted to. It's a matter of being attracted to something to be able to read it as well. So I hope that's answered some of your questions and I really love your comments and feedback as well. And you know, I'll see certain things in this cup, and when you are doing a recording, you know, sometimes the recording, there's a lot of, you know, features and situations with doing a recording that, you know, I might not see every single detail in this cup, and you might be able to pick up something in the cup later on. So, you know, unless you're actually doing recordings yourself, you'll understand that by doing a recording, you know, you might miss a couple of things here and there because there are other things to take into consideration with doing a recording. Also, for doing a cup for everybody who's watching, or with the intention of everyone who's watching, is a lot different from doing a personal cup reading for one individual person, because you're actually channeling your energy and reaching out towards that person through the cup. And if they're with you in person, or they send you pictures of their interior of their cup for an email or recorded audio reading, you're reading for one person. So with the group or masses of people readings that we can do on the YouTube channels, you know, it's not as easy to do a group reading as it is to do an individual personal reading, because you're just reading for that one single person and also picking up on their energy. So I'm just going to go with this and just see what comes up in the cup, and then we'll go from there. This is a beautiful cup. I really like how the coffee is really sort of placed around it in a nice lace formation. And I didn't put quite as much coffee into this one as I did in this one. I often do load up my cups quite a lot, as you can see. So I kind of put a little less coffee into this one. And I use the Cafe Najar, which is a beautiful Lebanese coffee. I just like the taste of it. And so let's have a look at this cup and just see what comes up. The first thing that came up for me here is like a flying geese, or a goose. It could be one of those wild geese. And that to me looks like it's a flying goose or geese. And it feels to me like migration or flight, or moving seasonally from one place to the other. So you could be moving seasonally from one place to the other, looking at migration or even immigrating somewhere. Or there could also be a Canadian link with this, because I'm picking up Canada connected to this bird here. So that's what I'm feeling with this little symbol here. There's a lot of detail here, and I do wear my glasses, but sometimes I would need to get myself a magnifying glass to be able to see this a little bit more in depth. Now, right down here, that to me looks like stag horns. It looks like a stag horn. It looks like horns of a deer that might be monumental. So that to me interpreted means something to do like a trophy. Not that it would be an actual stag that might be actually killed and its horns taken, but I see that head of something as being a symbolic of a trophy. So I feel like there's a trophy, award, or presentation of some sort that is possibly coming up soon. And this is sort of starting at the handle. So we've got these things around this quite coming in quite easily and sort of soonish. So the stag is there, so whatever that means to you as well, but also the stag is there. If I'm reading for one person, I'll apply that particular symbol to one specific person and get more of a personalized reading for them. Moving along here, there's a lot of flying horses. Horses going backwards. They're going backwards in this motion. There's a couple of flying horses here. There's about 3 or 4. And so that to me means that you're possibly looking back over some sort of action that you've taken in the past. There's something about action in the past. There's going back over something because the horses are going backwards. So it might be that it could be to do with this Mars retrograde that's coming up planetarily. And the transit of Mars retrograde will affect a certain part of your astrology chart, wherever it's going to be located in your chart. Mars in Scorpio, in Sagittarius and going back into Scorpio. So there could be something going on there with some sort of action or revisiting something. I kind of feel you could be even revisiting a place you've been to before, revisiting people you've known, re-looking at maybe something to do with relationship as well. That's interesting. And this stag horn also to me looks like a little bit of a broken heart, or a heart that's kind of possibly disintegrating, or it's been broken. So you could read that either way. There's also inside here quite a lot of hunting animals or big cats moving forward. So I did see a few of these predators sort of like animals here. And that looks like some sort of predator animal that's in stealth. So sort of like moving forward at the hunt. So that's definitely an animal that's moving forward there and going towards a forest. So I feel like the forest, the trees can be a little overwhelming, can feel a little suffocating. There could be a period here where you're looking for something, you're hunting for something, but you can't really see something for the trees. And it's like not being able to see the big picture, but not being able to see the forest for the trees. That's the message I'm getting in this one. So it's sort of like you're seeking something out, and it could be that you're in some sort of competition. There's other people also hunting for that same prize, and that could be this prize that popped up earlier. Hunting for a prize, it could be going for a job application, it could be vying for somebody's heart or love, it could be a competitive thing around sports as well, and sort of moving forward along those lines of going through the forest section. And I feel that once you're out of the forest and you can see things a bit clearly, I think things are going to get a lot better. So sometimes you've got to pull back from a situation to sort of get a bit more clarity around a situation. I see like something that looks to me like a bit of a heart here sitting on top. So that's really nice. There's a nice heart there. So there is a love interest coming in. There is a love situation. That also to me, this big open space also to me looks a little bit like a whole heart here. And then we've got 2 towers here, and one looks like, it looks a little bit like symbolic of the Twin Towers, but not the Twin Towers. So there can be an American link here, Twin Towers, but it's like there's 2 different projects, and one is going to be going up in one direction, and then it's going to go slightly off into a slightly different direction as you're proceeding with it. Okay, So as you're proceeding with that. And then there's another particular project or situation that is going straight, and then it goes definitely 180 degrees out. So it definitely turns off course, or it turns into a different avenue. So something that you feel that might be going along very nicely might just suddenly take a turn into a totally different area. Okay. Now this symbol here, this little group here, that to me looks a bit like a kangaroo, and also the emu. And this is the symbol of Australia, the emblem of Australia. And the kangaroo and the emu are two animals that only move forwards. They can't physically move backwards. So because of the way that they're made. So this is the monument, sort of the monument, or the emblem of Australia, the emu and the kangaroo. So something could very well happen in Australia. There could be something happening around the parliament, or happening around the something to do with a prime minister, or somebody actually in the parliament, or in power, or in public office in Australia. And this could be something to do with the actual country itself. It could be something to do with the sovereignty of this country itself. So that's interesting. Can be also an Australian kind of connection. So if anyone is looking at immigrating to Australia, or there's an Australian link there, they could be receiving news that something is coming in for them around this particular topic. So it's something to do with the government of Australia that's coming up here, I feel, the parliament, the government, something along those lines. And it could actually be to do with sometimes there's boats that come into the Australian waters, and there's people that try to get into the country on boats, and certain tragedies and things happen around that. So it could also be something connected with that. Okay, so moving forward from there. Okay, I was getting a little face in this line here, which looked to me like an Easter bunny. So I do feel there's a lovely Easter bunny here, and happy Easter to everybody. I do feel there's a bunny here, and there's something to do with Easter. So there's a symbolic thing with a bunny. So I feel like it's a fun time around the time of Easter, and it's a fun thing moving forward there. And the next pillar I have here is, looks to me like it's a queen, figurehead of a queen, and also a woman inside it. So, but it's a woman that looks like she's a woman of some sort of finery, or going back in time. She has sort of a period costume on. And that to me really symbolizes Queen Elizabeth in a way, Queen Elizabeth II. And something could happen with Queen Elizabeth this month. I know it's her birthday coming up. It could be something symbolic around her. She might give her power to somebody else, or, you know, she might make an announcement about something. But there could be something to do with Queen Elizabeth, or a queen in a country coming up. And I do feel it's more an older queen than a younger queen, because I do feel it's somebody who has a history, and she's going back in time here because she's got period costume here. It could also be something to do with a movie or a film, because that also signifies going back in time and looking at, it's very Art Deco feeling, like the 1930s and 40s costumes around it. So there could be actually a particular movie or something that's dedicated to the Queen. And do you like my little eye? I've got my eye here. Eye for protection. I've made a set of jewelry that has gemstones and eyes in them, which are beautiful. Yes, so this is, this here is very much something to do with the Queen, or a Queen-like figure, or a Queen in general. Now, that could also be you. It could also be something to do with you and feeling like you're in a state of, a higher state of consciousness, or a feeling like you're in your opulence as well, because queens do have opulence and things around them. Okay, now this is interesting underneath here. I see the letter A for apple, A for Adam, A for Antonia, Antonella. I see an A here, so there's a significant A here underneath this section. And And what else did I see here? Let me just check. I did see two people kissing here. Yeah, I think it was in this one. Okay, so we'll get to that one in a second. Yeah, so this is an A. So somebody coming into your life, or some symbolic thing around a person or a place or a country, city, town or country starting with an A. But I feel it's for most of you, it's most likely going to be something to do with a person with the initial A. And I do feel it's a first name and not necessarily a last name, okay? Now there's quite a bit more in this cup, and there's a lot there, but that's just an overview for you. I also see these animals moving forward. This could also be a polar bear too, so whatever a polar bear sort of means to you, it can be also a connection with Alaska too, with the polar bears, or Canada. There's a definite Canadian feel in this cup this month, so that's really interesting. So we'll just pop that one to the side, and let's have a look at this other one. This other one was completely different, very, very different indeed. And I did get quite a few fish in this, and fish is abundance and opulence. And it's more of a fun, sort of light and breezy cup, I'm feeling. So the other cup here could be more of a world cup, and this cup could be also more of a personal cup. Now there's this beautiful dolphin here. I hope you can see that lovely dolphin coming up. It's got a spout here at the top, tail at the bottom, the body there. So this dolphin is kind of like coming to the surface for air. It's playing, it's frolicking, it's enjoying itself. I do feel a connection to SeaWorld. I feel a connection to anything to do with dolphins. The Atlantis Resort, something really interesting. I feel like there's connections here to anything to do with dolphins here. Hawaii, dolphins. Dolphin energy is very, very positive, and it really means a lot of abundance, opportunities and expansion going on here. And a lot of friendliness, friendship, love even, and romance, I feel, with this dolphin, because it's having a lot of fun. It's really enjoying itself. And then I've got three other fish here. They look like pencil fish to me, and they're kind of like coming up to the surface. Now, pencil fish to me means sort of slim pickings. So it could be that these three pencil fish, they don't have a lot of meat on them. They're sort of slim pickings. So they're kind of like, there could be a symbol here with the number 3, a choice of 3 different things, 3 different opportunities, 3 different things coming in around the workplace, a number 3, 3 days, 3 months, or 3 weeks. So I feel with this 3 here, there's one particular one that's very, very long. It goes right down to the bottom. And it's kind of like planted there in the ground as well. So it's definitely got a lot of roots to it. And the other 2 are kind of connected to each other. So they almost look like twins. So there can be something to do with twins, or double things happening, or triple things happening, or maybe being in a crowded relationship with this number 3. If you're dating somebody or with somebody, there could be somebody else around or interfering in the relationship. Somebody maybe from the past, somebody who has like a foundation with this person that you're seeing, something of that nature. It could be an ex-partner, an ex-husband or wife, for example. Then I've got this beautiful polar bear swimming, and this polar bear to me looks like he's swimming, and it feels quite male to me, and he's kind of coming out of the water and he's swimming up towards the surface. And I feel with this polar bear, he's looking quite slim as well. He doesn't look as if he has much weight on, and I feel it's because he's come out of the winter. It's sort of like the seasons are changing. He's coming up to the surface, he's seeing what's out there, and he's going to start fishing. So I feel like he's ready to go, and he's starting the new season. I do feel that this cup is really about new starts and new beginnings, something really unique. So that's really interesting. Now, and there's also a Canadian link with him as well, and Alaskan link. Now, this next symbol here, to me, the first impression I got with this is that it looks a little bit like a genie in a bottle, or a genie coming out of a bottle with a very strange hairdo. There's like a little face here and holding something here, like holding the wish thing, and then the hair of this genie here. So I do feel there's sort of like, it's symbolic of meeting somebody quite eccentric, It's symbolic of making a wish and having this wish come true. It's symbolic of having a surprise, like a genie jumping out of a bottle, a surprise coming up for you this month. So that's really nice. And then this other symbol here, I'm feeling that this is the tail of a whale. I'm not sure what this other part is here, but I do feel there's a whale, and the whale is breaching its tail here. So I do feel that migration is here as well. I feel there's something to do with migration, movement, change. Also, whales are very abundant. They often supply villages and cities intact or completely. They have a lot of meat on them, and they have a lot of value to them. So I do feel that the whale here is very symbolic of, I'm getting the word virtue, and I'm also feeling the word abundance and opportunity and expansion and opulence here as well. And pay rise promotion is coming up for me around this whale as well. Okay, now let's have a look here. Now at the very bottom of the cup, we've got kind of like cracks in this cup. So it looks like a desert landscape, but it also could be an earthquake. It could be a tremor, one earthquake with a slight tremor to it. So I hope, there we are, with a bit of light. It also looks a little bit like lightning as well. Looking at it there in the camera, it looks a little bit like lightning. So I'm feeling there could be something. I'm feeling it's sort of like connected to west part of America. I do feel that there's something possibly brewing there. Might not be right away at this time, but it could be just a small warning something's coming up. Moving forward here, that's right. I didn't really see a lot of stuff here. There's a gorilla there, so it looks like somebody could be a little angry or a little upset or kind of like growling at something. There's somebody that's maybe not too happy about something, but I feel it will pass. Then this symbol here, I actually got Archangel Michael in there. I feel like Archangel Michael is very protective, and I feel like he's really come up in the cup here. I'm sort of seeing something like his sword coming out and something going on with an action. So I do feel that there's Archangel Michael here in this cup. Underneath this particular Archangel Michael, I did see two people kissing, and I'm just going to try to locate that again. Okay. It sort of disappeared for a minute, but I did see two people kissing. So I do feel that there's romance here, and I do feel that there's Archangel Michael protection there too. And just now what's popped out here is a swan. And swans are very elegant, and swans are very lucky for love as well. So I do feel this swan is looking for love, and I do feel this swan is going to find love this month. I feel that there is a love interest coming in. And it looks like you could meet this swan in somewhere that you've been before, because the swan's sort of looking backwards. And I don't feel it's somebody from the past necessarily, but I feel it's something to do with a location or a place you've been before. So if you've been on a dating site, you might go back to that dating site. If you've been in a certain group or activity or club or social situation, you might go back and go out in that same group again and meet somebody through that particular group. So I feel that there's something there that has a familiarity to it, and something to do with a familiar sort of people, place and thing going on there, that the swan is actually reconnecting with or connecting with, and it's somebody new coming in. I'm just trying to get that where the kissing is again. I did see two people kissing, but it's kind of, sometimes when you look at the cup, you look back into it and the thing that you originally saw has kind of disappeared. It's very bizarre. So I hope you've enjoyed that cup, and lots of love and angel blessings for this month. And thank you so much for subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. Ciao for now. Bye.